I am here today with Madison Martin. She is the senior event manager at the Hilton Columbus downtown. How are you today, Madison?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm excited to have you here today. Usually a lot of the people we have on the show, are CEOs and executives, and one of the reasons, we decided to get together and talk today was really to hear a different perspective, about you, your career, the future of work, and kind of what you're seeing out there. And so, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited today to start this conversation.
I'm really excited to be here and be able to take part in it and to give a different perspective because I feel like I have a pretty unique one when it comes to the hospitality industry.
Awesome, awesome. Well, why don't you do a quick, a high level view of kind of how you got to where you are, and then just where you're at today.
Yeah, I started in the hospitality industry in 2012, working in restaurants and hotels, kind of working line level positions. I moved to the front desk in 2014 and was able to kind of work my way into a full-time position in reservations and then into event management, which is where I'm at now, doing weddings. And then I've just kind of been able to hop into different roles that have been more growing for my career. So I went from weddings to doing more corporate events into big conventions and now citywide events here at Hilton Columbus downtown. It's been a journey. I like it.
That is awesome. I mean, you guys, for the people who don't know out there, the Hilton Columbus just finished a major renovation and added, actually, I think you guys doubled your room size. Is that right?
Yeah, just about. So we're at 1,000 rooms now and 75,000 meeting space. So it's been almost triple our prior meeting space.
That's absolutely awesome. So, that's for you. I mean, so it sounds like you've been in the industry for a little while now. I think when you and I were talking before, we got to just over 10 years, it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's a great move for you to be able to, not only obviously do something you love, but also be able to get into something that's I would say rapidly growing. It would
Yeah.
be maybe an understatement there.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to kind of get to start almost day one of the new building and dive right in and learn the space, learn as everyone else is learning, and kind of get to be part of this new journey that this great hotel has taken on over the past couple of years. It's going to be a huge part of the city and bringing in those larger citywide events and conventions and being able to partner with our other neighboring hotels. It's really just helping us become like the forefront hotel for the city, and it's been a lot of fun to slowly open up each outlet and to learn all the fun new parts of a building and what fits in a room and what doesn't, and just the daily challenges that come with opening a new property. But we've had the comfort of having our old property too, so you get a little bit of both, and it's been a great experience that I'll take with me forever because I've learned a lot and we're only like 6 months in.
That's awesome. Well, I think I think I kind of want to just start jumping in and
Yeah.
having this conversation, really about, kind of what you're seeing in the workplace these days, what kind of trends you're seeing and things like that. So let's start by just asking, right now where you're at. You've moved a few times, you've progressed in the hospitality industry. What kind of things are you looking for when you take on new jobs or new roles?
I'm always in the mindset of being able to grow my self career, not just title wise or monetarily, but knowledge. So I've learned so much in the industry, hospitality industry, is having knowledge of different departments, food and beverage versus front desk versus events. So anything that I can jump into and learn something that I haven't already touched base on or can expand on is what I look for when I'm interviewing or when I'm looking for new candidates, anything like that. That's something that I want to be able to give someone. I want to be able to receive when I'm looking in a new role. Just unique learning opportunities.
Well, that's awesome. So what attracted you to this role? I mean, if you're always looking for learning opportunities and ways to be able to grow, what caught your attention about this role?
I was with Hilton already. I was at a larger property in the city, but I'd kind of maxed out there. I'd already become a director there. I, had the same groups year after year, felt really comfortable in the role. I could have stayed there forever. I mean, it would have been really easy, but then I wouldn't be exactly just what I was saying, learning, growing, trying to better myself and further myself in the hospitality industry. So by taking almost this same role in a bigger property, I become kind of a small fish in a big pond, quite literally. And that's a little scary. And it's still a little scary sometimes when I walk around and don't recognize faces. But it was a needed step, and I think it'll pay off in the years to come to see where I can grow within that property and with the Hilton Corporation. With it being a corporate hotel, there's lots of opportunities outside of just our walls.
That's awesome. One of the words that we hear all the time is growth, right? And you said it a few times now. And so from a growth perspective, right? I think people think a lot of different think of growth with a lot of different definitions. For you, is that growth like monetary? Is it education? Is it experience? Like when you think of growth for yourself, what does that sound like? Or what does that look like for you?
It's a little bit of everything, but I would definitely take experience over the monetary or the title or anything in that realm. Just being able to have the experience from basically starting as a server to a front desk agent, to a reservations agent, to a manager, to a director. That growth, I would have never be there without starting as that server or starting as that front desk agent. I built on my knowledge, and that's something that I can continue to build on until I can reach whatever position I want, right? The CEO, like you said, I'll come back as a CEO eventually.
There you go. Absolutely. I think that's really interesting, right? That the monetary will follow the education, right? Like if you gain the experience, the money will follow you. I think that's really interesting insight. When you're talking to your friends and I mean, obviously a lot of you all just started with the Hilton, obviously expanding that much, what other kind of things are you hearing are motivators for, taking on jobs or coming into workplaces right now?
I know you're hearing a lot about like benefits these days. Obviously health insurance, paid time off, but I'm hearing a lot more about the flexible lifestyle. So being able to have the opportunity to work from home, if not all the time, hybrid, maternity, paternity leave has been a big one amongst the talks of my friends, because I'm kind of at the age where a lot of people are starting to have children, and just like vacation time and just work-life balance is what I hear a lot coming up. And I'm very fortunate. They have started a telecommute program at Hilton downtown. So I get to work from home when I don't have events and running. So that's just like a very small little thing you can do to kind of overall help the well-being of someone, and to kind of show that they care about the work-life balance and maximizing your time when you're not in the office.
Well, that's really interesting. And I think that, that flexibility is something that I think a lot of people are struggling to define, right?
Yeah.
As you mentioned, getting the opportunity to telecommute when you don't have events, that's absolutely awesome. What are you seeing from some of the other positions in the building, right? Are you seeing that same kind of flexibility with other positions throughout the department or throughout the property?
We've definitely made shifts towards being more accessible via like Teams and share drives and that kind of thing. So you're not tied to your desk if you're in a different role. Obviously, food and beverage roles and kind of more line level roles don't have as much of an opportunity, but from what I've seen, it's been a very flexible work environment, and people who've had sick kids or things come up have been able to have the opportunity to be home and to still participate in work and where they can. Obviously, if you're a front desk agent, you have to be at the front desk to be useful, but it's definitely benefited other departments, more so in the managerial roles than the line level. And there's different benefits for the line level too. They feed the line everyone at the hotel multiple times a day. They have the same work benefits, the same day pay. There's different benefits that can kind of spread down into that line level position that may not be the work from home, but could be other benefits to them.
I think that's great. I like that a lot of people are starting to think outside of the box. Hospitality has always been one of those industries where, work-life balance wasn't necessarily something people talked about, right?
Yeah,
It was,
yeah.
you have a meeting that is going on today. It ends at 2 a.m. Somebody has to turn the room, and you have another one that comes in at 7. Would you like to stay tonight? Right? Like that's
Yeah,
that's
that's
kind
your
of
work-life balance. So we'll give you a room tonight. How's that?
right, because we don't want you to drive home after working 18 straight hours,
Right,
go
right.
home for 3 hours and then have to come back on 3 hours of sleep. So are you seeing a kind of a change in that? Because I know that coming out of the pandemic, that was one of the things everybody was really worried about, was whether or not hospitality would go back to, grinding, grueling hours, or if there was going to be some semblance of balance there.
I think where I'm at currently, I've seen a lot of progression since the pandemic. I worked shifts like that during the pandemic where I was turning rooms late at night and coming back in to service the next group. And it really made me prioritize my work-life balance. I do think some properties and management companies are still lagging in that and still kind of have that old mentality, like, you signed up for hospitality, it's a grind, and that's what you signed up for. Sorry. So I think there's definitely room for improvement in a lot of properties and a lot of approaches. But I think with bigger companies such as Hilton and some of the bigger Marriott properties are starting this, it'll trickle down. It might take a while, but it'll get there. And the expectation will be set that if you want your staff to stay and to love where they work at your smaller Hilton or Marriott property, then you need to follow this new protocol or start to adapt these new protocols.
I think that's awesome. One of the things that makes that all possible, right, is being able to find enough people. I think
Yeah.
it's easy to say that, we're gonna service this work-life balance. We're gonna give you a little bit more flexibility when you have other people to work. How's that been going for you all? Have you been able to find, people at every level to be able to open the building?
It definitely has been a struggle since the pandemic. I feel like for everyone, especially in hospitality. Um, we've seen, I saw a lot more at Polaris with it being kind of not on a major bus line, being more north of the city, being a smaller property. They just continually trying to get people in, and then we get people in, keeping them. We're a little bit more lucky downtown. We have the bus line. We have certain transportation packages for partnerships with different groups that staff for us. But I would say it's going to take a while to kind of really get back to not struggling in the employment industry, especially we see a lot in like housekeeping and food and beverage, just like the cooks, the servers, bussers, bartenders. There's so many places to choose from and so many benefits from where you work from one place to the other. And if you walk into any restaurant right now, they're going to hire you because they need a server or a bartender. It's not really like you have it like before where it was hard to find a position.
So are you able to start maybe more creatively using vendors? I know you're in the event space. I know that there are a lot of vendors who will do setup and breakdown. I know that there are staffing vendors out there that will, help with all the positions I think you just mentioned. Are you having any luck on maybe supplementing until you can find some of your own people?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely staffing agencies such as like Upshift, like yours, have helped in many different scenarios in like the banquet serving, housekeeping areas. But I think it comes down to like creative recruiting. We have a really good recruiting program at our current property, job fairs, that kind of thing, working with people like Gretchen at Columbus State to kind of get those line level, get students in and then grow them and develop them to stay with us and to progress into bigger roles.
Absolutely. And then what are some of the things you're seeing that are attractive or exciting on the retention side? Because you mentioned that, obviously getting them there is one thing, keeping them is another. What are some of the things you're hearing that people are excited about from a retention side?
I think just being willing to develop those younger employees. We have a lot of students at our front desk, and being willing to even interview them for bigger roles and help them, show them what they still need to do to get that role, or put them in those coordinator positions and let them study under our sales managers or our events managers, our food and beverage managers, supervisor roles, where they can feel like they're being part of it, they're being groomed to be a manager one day. I'm never a fan of putting someone in a line level position and not talking to them about growing and developing and where they want to be. You have to be willing to develop them if you want to keep them, because they'll find another supervisor front desk job at another hotel that makes more money. So you have to show them the value of what it is to stay here and where they can go at your property.
One of the things that I think we've never, hospitality doesn't seem to have a shortage of people who want to move up. But that being said, there was a big generational, concern, right? The millennials to an extent were, you would open a door for them and they wouldn't necessarily want to walk through it. And now the comments we're seeing is that the Gen Zs and the younger millennials, if you open that door, they're going to run through it.
Right.
Are you seeing the interest out there and the excitement out there as opportunities are coming up?
I definitely am. There's definitely some students that at the front desk now that I see that are just begging to be in those coordinator roles and learn more and to study under the management staff that we have in place now. I'm a younger millennial and I've always kind of lived by that. Like, I can always lead. If there's an opportunity to lead, even not a leadership position, I'm going to jump on it and show my worth and show my values so that I can make something more of myself. That's just my personality. But I definitely see that trend more so than I was seeing earlier in my career.
Well, I think that's absolutely awesome. And, when you start thinking about kind of, looking ahead, right? Let's kind of think about this right now. I know that the Hilton does everything absolutely awesome and they are on a track to retain. Yeah. And, Chris over there does an amazing job, and the whole executive team. And so we're not going to talk about that, but if you were personally, just kind of putting a crystal ball to the future, what kind of things do you think, employers should really start thinking about when it comes to, retaining in the future or attracting in the future? Is there anything that's been tickling you in the back of your mind?
Maybe just setting the expectation when you're hiring, that you're willing to develop you if you want to be developed, and what that path would look like for you, the position that you're entering into, whether it is a housekeeper or events coordinator. You have to set that expectation up front that you want them to stay and develop. And then you have to back it up with all those things we talked about: work-life benefits, work-life balance, benefits, showing that you care, checking in with your employees every day, and just making sure that they're heard and that you're listening to their ideas, because sometimes they have really good ideas. They see it every day, or they're living it every day. So they have things to offer and contribute, and just hearing that out, I think you have to continue to do that, because we're just going to continue to change and grow. And if we keep doing what we've always done, it will not work. And that's one of my least favorite phrases I hear all the time. We've always done it this way. And anytime I hear that, it just drives me crazy. So I always try to live against that and hear everyone out and do what we can to keep bettering. There's always a way to do something more efficient or better.
That's awesome. So last question I have here, there are a lot of people entering the workforce right now and trying to figure out what direction they want to go. Do you have any advice for somebody who's job seeking right now or looking to make a transition?
If you're capable, just dive in wherever you can, whether that's under what you want for pay or whatever, and just open yourself up to learning every opportunity. I've done it in restaurants, I've done it in hotels successfully, where if you go in as a cashier, but you're willing to learn how to cook or to serve and just kind of grow and make yourself open to those opportunities, they'll come. If you go into a job kind of narrow-minded and that this is your one position, that's where you'll stay. And then eventually you'll get burned out or not like it, and then you'll have to move again. But if you can open yourself up to learning more, whether it's the position you want right then, or there's a position down the road you want, just open yourself up to learning opportunities and they'll come.
That is exceptional. And I think everybody out there who's looking to try to figure out how to, get excited about work or look for new opportunities, I think that's a great place to start. And the wonderful thing is hospitality is like, we're built for that. I mean, that's what hospitality is built for, is giving people an opportunity to step through that door and learn something new.
One of the things I love about it. Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, Madison, I know that people are going to be excited to book their event with you at the Hilton Columbus downtown.
Yes,
Are you on LinkedIn by any chance?
I am. It's just Madison Martin on LinkedIn.
Perfect. Well, I'm sure people will be reaching out to you, Madison. Thank you
Perfect.
so much for your time today, and I really appreciate your insights. Look forward to connecting with you again in the future.
Thank you.
All right. Talk soon, Madison.
Bye.